So why do we keep, change, flip, do this little math trick when we're dividing by fractions? Well, it's important to know why. And so it's because division is actually just multiplication. So we need to go back to something called the multiplicative inverse. So the multiplicative inverse says, what can I multiply a by to get back to the multiplicative identity, which is 1? So the answer to that is 1 over a, because that gives you a divided by a, and anything divided by itself we know is equal to 1. So we can take that. Let's start with a over a. We know a over a is the same thing as a divided by a. Well, let's take each of these a's and let's multiply each one by its multiplicative inverse. So that's what you see here shown in green. Well, if I do it to this one, we know that just gives us 1. So I'm going to leave this one as 1 because anything, just ignore what this says for a second, but anything divided by 1 is just itself. So really, we just have this part. And so if we go over to here, you can see that this is a times 1 over a. So you have your a times 1 over a. And so there's your keep. There's your change where you change the sign because it was divided. Now it's multiply. And here's your flip because instead of a, we now have 1 over a. And then that gives us back the multiplicative identity. So if you want to try this in an example with some numbers, right? So here's some fractions. 2/5 divided by 3/7. Well, you need to find the multiplicative inverse of 3/7, which is 7 over 3. So we multiply each of those by 7 over 3. But that one is just 1. And remember, anything divided by 1 is just itself. So we really just have this. So this turns into this, which is what you see over here. So we now have keep the first fraction, change the sign from division to multiplication, and then flip the second fraction. And that is how you multiply your fractions. And that is why we can just teach keep, change, flip.